Alrighty, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades and Cheesesteaks. Not exactly the episode we were hoping to be recording, but
No.
I will say it's I've never I've never seen Eagles fans this happy after a loss than after Kevin Patullo got fired yesterday. And now
Yeah.
everyone's back on the ship, and then they showed that little HBO clip from Jalen and Sirianni after the season ended, and Jalen said, "Oh, we'll be back," and then Sirianni's like, "I have no doubt," and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're so back! Like back to the Super Bowl next year."
It's you
So,
know what? Like obviously I was furious when it happened.
of course,
I think part of me is because I completely bought it. I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, which I knew wasn't going to happen.
I
And
thought if
like
they could get it together in time, I thought Lane was going to play. I thought that was going to be a huge thing. He did not play.
yeah,
But not to cut you off, but yeah,
you've been you've been keep saying the same thing all year. Like if they get it together, it's the same
yeah,
thing. It's just like we knew. I knew this is how it was going to end, and I
mm,
knew this is how it was going to end in like week five. Like we just
yeah,
kind of knew this is exactly how this was going to end. They would win the division, they would get in the playoffs, and they will not do anything in the playoffs. And then Kevin Patullo will be fired. Like we knew this in October,
yeah,
and that's the prodigy. That was exactly what happened.
yeah. I
So
forget. I think I don't remember who reported it, but somebody said that the higher ups, like Howie, Jeff Lurie, like have been aware of Patullo being a wild card, so someone said that they might have been looking since midseason for like his replacement and the anticipation that
I
he was
mean,
going to get fired.
obviously, I think the
So,
whole entire city was thinking the same thing. I mean, how are
well,
you
yeah, but
just
that
firing
makes us
him?
look not insane for thinking that he was horrible, you know? So
I mean, he's gone, and like part of it, I kind of like feel bad for him. Like
I
part of
do,
it,
I think he got worse than Brian Johnson.
yeah. Well,
I'm sure he's a good guy. He's got kids and a wife. Like I don't wish anything bad on him. Like I don't want people sending him threats or anything. Like, but yeah, just as
the thing
a
though
football
is,
mind, he wasn't ready to
I
be a
mean,
coordinator.
we were all saying this going into the season, why everyone felt so good. He inherited an offense that was, record setting with Barkley.
Yeah.
They couldn't be stopped. They crushed the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and then they returned 10 of the 11 starters. Like it was almost like, what
What
could they not be good?
what I didn't understand is why did they not continue to do what Kellen Moore was doing? Like why did we go completely off script and install a whole new offense that was
Sometimes you
terrible?
want to go in and make your mark field. But for Kevin Patullo, part of me must think that he's probably wants this. Like, could you imagine he's been the most criticized coach the entire season, and I don't mean by Philadelphia media, I mean national media. Because you
Mm,
think the really horrible coaches got fired. The lame duck coaches, they were just coaching loser teams that weren't relevant enough to talk about every
sure.
week. The Aaron Glenn's, the Pete Carrolls, like their team was just so bad, no one really cared or would talk about it. The Kevin Patullo was the only coach that was failing so hard at his job, but was still winning games and was going to be a division team
Yeah.
or a playoff team. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have any other coaches that were like in that situation. I know the others like Greg Roman got fired. He was another OC, but I mean, half of the Chargers offensive line got hurt.
Yeah.
The Eagles, Lane got hurt, sure, but you still had all this talent all around, and it was the same thing every week. Every week, it was someone else like Dan Orlovsky was out there, or Sam Ocho or Baldy would break something down, or anyone that had a microphone and a football opinion would just talk about how childish in high school and basic and boring this offensive scheme was.
Yeah.
And it's wild when an offensive coordinator is like front page news and national news on almost every week.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I agree with what so today I think it was today Peter Schrager who's now on ESPN. Well, he's been on ESPN all season, but he was saying that he thinks this is the most interesting opening, like including head coaching vacancies
Why?
because A, it's highly attractive because of all the skilled players in the market, but it's also a high pressure job, maybe high pressure than some of the head coaching spots because of like what is expected from the fans, the front office, the players, because of all the failed coordinators that have come through, and the fact that no one stayed for more than a year because they either won a Super Bowl, got a head coaching job, or they had such a bad season that they got fired.
I mean,
So
part
it's
of that is
like,
they like, the internal promotions haven't been good.
I
If
mean,
you're
I
gonna
will,
hire a
I,
organization, like you're a good caliber guy. Like the caliber of offensive coordinator they bring in will be a proven top-notch guy. Like you will find some of the heavy hitters
yeah,
for that job.
I, I think, I mean, on what Traeger was saying though, I do think if I was an offensive coach in the NFL and I was, let's say a free agent, whatever, I think the Eagles' job is definitely like super exciting, super enticing because A, you can put your whole, like you said, put your name on your playbook, go out there and possibly win a Super Bowl with a stacked team because Eagles aren't going to get worse, right? We're not going to
Yeah,
because if Lane retires, he didn't even play all year anyways. So,
fair.
um, but and everyone's gonna get rest and all that. But I do think like if you're not a seasoned veteran coach and you see that Kevin Patullo had a coordinator, not a head coach, not a player, a coordinator had his house egged by fans, I would be a little like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
but they're
man. I
not
don't know.
getting. You're not getting that job. This is going to be a proven Kellen Moore, Shane
But
Steichen.
I'm just saying. If it
I
not every candidate is going to be jumping in the front of the line and saying I want to coach the Eagles
to
players.
be honest,
So
I think this is Nick's biggest strength in a way. I think this job is attractive because Nick Sirianni is the coach. What I mean is Nick has like he's like the perfect head coach for good coordinators. His coordinator hires are pretty much always pretty solid, minus the ones that he promotes within. When he goes outside,
well,
Fan Steichen, he brought
yeah.
over what's his face, Kellen Moore. Sure, Desai was a complete mess, and Patricia was too. But Johnson and Patullo were in-house. It's an attractive job because one, you get to coach a Howie Roseman roster, but
Yeah.
two, minus Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni he takes all the brunt of the blame. I mean, the guy wins the Super Bowl, and the following, you'll want to fire him in the game.
Well,
And next year the Heat will be on heavy on Sirianni than it would be a new coordinator.
yeah. I think the Desai thing it just didn't work out. I don't think he was a bad coordinator because he had a good track record, but um I mean we had Kevin Byard on that team that I was so excited for, and then he just didn't fit that defensive scheme, and obviously went on and now he's doing well with the Bears. But um, I want to give you a too much whiz for you.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
good.
too much whiz. If the Eagles miss the playoffs next year, bearing like bearing like something crazy like Jalen like got hurt very early on, or like I don't know, like we just had like insurmountable amount of injuries. Bearing that, like a normal season, he doesn't make the playoffs. Does he get fired?
I mean, it's tough to say because you're thinking so far in advance. But my first instinct would be no. The city would be praying and like saliva would be dripping out of their mouths for the opportunity. He might be Patullo level of like get him fired now, but I can't see them. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been to two Super Bowls. He's won Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs, I think, every year he's been in the league. Um, you like a guy like that with all the hatred that he gets, I just don't see it possible. He would have one bad season, doesn't make the playoffs, and then doesn't get in.
I
Uh,
think as long as they strike gold on offensive coordinator enough times during his coaching tenure that he'll be fine. But I say that just because of if the offensive coordinator hire is in part his decision. I mean, he obviously has a role, but I mean, if it was like a big part of his decision to bring in whoever they bring in, and they just flaunt like have a terrible season without anything crazy happening on the injury side, I think it's people start getting
you,
more concerned. But
you gotta give Nick credit. Like he brought in Steichen. Like Steichen was this guy from
Yeah.
Indy.
He also brought
He brought
in
in Kellen
Patullo
Moore. I mean,
and
Kellen Moore
Johnson.
was more known, but he had a head coaching interest at one point. But let's be honest, there were Kellen Moore critics. Like he went from Dallas, he went to
Well,
LA.
he was
Neither of these
not.
times were really big, big program winners. If you could say anything, he went to two offenses, two teams completely overrated, as people say, and then two quarterbacks completely overrated, as people would say, like a lot of inflated stats. And there was doubt. I liked Kellen Moore, but there were doubts going into it. And then obviously Fangio was a great hire.
I mean, I was one who did not like the Kellen Moore hire when it happened because I thought someone like Cliff Kingsbury would have been better, or a more established OC, not someone who came from not a former player who just started being a coordinator from the Cowboys, who have kind of had a stacked offense, so to say. And I mean, we had a stacked offense when he came in too, but I was
Still
definitely
see
skeptical. But
there.
but at the time, it wasn't like the sexy pick, just like Nick wasn't the sexy pick for head coach. Um, but it ended up being the right call. I mean, it took him a couple weeks, but then Kellen Moore got his system operating, and obviously the rest was history. But I mean, on that note, so offensive coordinator position is open for the Eagles once again. Jalen Hurts has had a different offensive coordinator since like his freshman year of college or high school, whatever it was. Um, who are your top three candidates?
I mean, my dream world,
Or
I would
your
love nothing
yes,
more than if Stefanski doesn't get head coaching job. He's like, I would love to be
I I
coordinator.
couldn't agree more with you, and that makes me throw up a little bit in my mouth. But I think Stefanski would be like per. I think he's from Pennsylvania.
He
Um,
gets Stefanski gets a head coaching job.
I do
I'm not even
too. I'm not
I
sure
think
where, but I do think he gets another head coaching gig. But if not, oh my God, I'd be so upset because he, he would probably leave after a year of success and get a head coaching job again. But I'll sacrifice that for another Super Bowl without a doubt. Like
I mean the other one I think everyone's talking about, which him, I'd be surprised if he got a head coaching job in this cycle, to be
McDaniel.
honest. But McDaniel's the one everyone's talking about. I think the appeal with the Commanders makes too much sense if he doesn't get a head coaching job, which I could see him doing, with Dan Quinn and
I
everything.
heard Lions.
My my one of my top picks, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's very realistic. I don't see him getting a head coaching job this cycle. I would love if they brought in Brian Dable as the OC.
We have the exact same list. Like Stefanski's my one. I might put Dable two and then Daniel McDaniels. But I think Dable because he had that one year with Jalen. Um,
Oh, yeah.
he helped develop Jackson Dart a little bit before they canned him.
The one obviously him knowing Jalen's great, but Jalen is a completely different player than he was there. But Jalen could play a similar offense to what Josh Allen does. I mean, we've been begging for Jalen to run the ball.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was crushing it with Dable when he was running the ball. Obviously, he did a little bit with Jackson Dart, but Dart I think is a problem where he gets hit and he's not as strong. Like Dave or Hurts and Josh Allen are very similar built. Like you can run them and make a strong offense around it. Um, he honestly might be my number one. I think I'd
Dable.
take him over
Hmm.
McDaniel. Yeah, Stefanski, of course, but I'd take him over McDaniel. I think his offense would fit better.
Yeah, I think Stefanski's just he has a little more experience than both of them, and or maybe McDaniels. I don't know about Dable, but I don't know. I just want, and it sounded like this is what Jalen wants as well. Someone who's going to create explosive plays, someone who is going to be more exciting. Like there's just the talent on this team is too good for them to do boring play. Like the last play in the playoffs that the Eagles ran, from what I saw and from what I've been hearing, it literally was basically all go route, all fades except for Goddard. Everyone was going to the end zone except for Goddard, who was running like a slant post kind of thing. How is anyone gonna get open if there's no disguising with routes? If everyone's going straight and one player is cutting in the middle, who the hell are you supposed to throw to when you're 20
And
yards away from the end zone?
And it was the same play you called like earlier in the drive. I'm actually, you know what? I'm kind of happy that was the play they called because I love the like how absurd it was. Like I didn't want us to end on a play like, you know what? This was a great play by Kevin Patullo, and just doing it. No, no, no. I wanted this to be the cherry on top. I wanted everything to be the awful about it. I didn't want like a glimmer of hope. Like I wanted to live a terrible drive to have my soul broken. And yeah, it was horrendous. I actually everyone was talking about like Jalen's reaction when they get the soundbite of when he was sung. Even funnier, watching Nick's here like reaction. Like Nick's a pretty positive guy, and I'm sure he was giving Florian. He like you could see his face go back, like are you insane?
Well, it was funny because it was Patul talking to Jalen, and then Jalen looks at Sirianni, and McKee's next to Jalen. He looks at Sirianni. They're both like, and then Sirianni looks at them. They're all like, I guess we're doing this." Like, but I
I
saw
mean,
I saw a clip today of I don't know what game it was. I think it was in a regular season because Jalen was wearing a white jersey, but he was talking to Patullo on the sideline after I guess they were on defense, and he's holding like a tablet. They're looking like side to side. He turns around, like starts walking back to the bench. He just goes like looks. He just looks disgusted. Like he just talked to someone who doesn't know anything about what they're doing. Which,
I mean, it's very true. I think that was my biggest criticism in that game. Like that play right there summed up everything about the season.
yeah,
You have Kevin Patullo just calling insane plays that never work. And then you have Jalen, but more importantly on Nick, like just not say anything. Like
hmm
dude, this is your season. I get it. You want to give him full credit and give him a chance, and that's great and well. Like, stick with your guy, even if he's a terrible pick.
yeah,
This is your season, though, man. You got to step up and realize when something's bad, and it's very obviously this was a bad call, and everyone knew it was going to be like that. Like, say something, or at least, dude, if you don't like it, then do something about it. Be like, you know what? I'm the coach. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to have to eat this loss regardless. Let me at least go with a play I can believe in.
yeah.
And then if it fails, it fails. Who cares? It's my fault anyway. That's what it was. The shockingest thing to me was he didn't say a peep. It looked like he generally knew this was an insane play and he went with it anyway. That's what I don't understand. But we digress. This is exactly what we knew was going to happen. Nothing about this loss surprised me. It, the Demarcus Robinson catch to start the game, that one surprised me. The Johan Jennings touchdown pass that also kind of surprised me. But nothing about the offense surprised me at all.
I will
Two
say
crucial drops by a player that's been complaining all year. Horrible play calling.
yes, yes,
Um, just everything about it. Jake Elliott mixed an extra point. Everything that I
which
could have
cost us
expected to go
technically, yeah.
wrong just went wrong. Yeah, you know what? Whoever the Niners kicker was missing that extra point. I was like, man, that was him all coming very close to saving Jake Elliott's job.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think where did I read it? I think it was ESPN had a summary of the games, and they said it pretty well, whoever wrote it, that basically this playoff game was the entire culmination of the Eagles season. Like
Oh, without doubt.
the defense plays as well as it can, but there's a little bit of a chip in the armor because they're on the field too much and they will let up, one or two drives that result in a touchdown. Um, just because they're, gassed or get like exposed like once and they take advantage of it. And then on offense, it's, poor offensive line play, poor play design, the running game being mostly ineffective, players not getting open, dropped passes, way too many penalties. So, like, literally everything that happened all year happened in that game. Um, and I think the only player I could say who was, like, if you had to say who was our MVP of the season on offense, Dallas Goedert, and nobody comes close. Like, Jalen,
And who
obviously,
might
because,
not be on the team next year.
right. Even I mean Devontae had a good year too, and Saquon is Saquon, but like Saquon looked like he was confused and lost at times. Like I think in part because like holes that he saw last year were not opening up, and I would love someone to go and find out last year how many times he got touched before the line of scrimmage versus this year, where it was like 50% of the fucking plays he was getting tackled in behind the line of scrimmage. Like it's insane. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think what was the most disappointing on Sunday beyond the play calling was AJ Brown just like I don't want to call a player out for not giving 100% effort or not
That's
being
get the
fully
effort.
invested, but it looked like he just
Not
didn't
great.
care.
His
Like
performance wasn't good. Like, he just didn't catch the balls that he needed to catch. Who cares if his focuses were gone?
no,
Like
no,
those
but
were
I mean like it looked like if you had told me he had money on the game the Eagles are going to lose, I'd believe you because it just looked
I,
like he wasn't putting in that extra 110%, right? He didn't look like he was giving it his absolute all, and I could be wrong, and I don't want to I love AJ. I don't want to call him out, but I mean like it just didn't feel like the AJ we've seen in previous seasons. Like he just
I mean,
three
he looked
drops for him
effective.
is I don't think he's had seasons with less than three drops. Like,
Yeah, it couldn't have come in a more crucial situation too.
yeah.
Like you're in your big moment. That was when you wanted the ball. You complained all year for it. You boom, you get it, and that's
I
boom.
mean, shit, even Smitty dropped a ball he catches. It was just one thing after the other. They were destined to lose that game.
They were destined for the season to end like this.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I think it was either Super Bowl or losing the wild card for me because if you won even one game, Patullo probably stays, right? Like if you get to the division
No,
or
you
championship
could have won the
game,
Super Bowl. Patullo's still out.
you're gonna fire your offensive coordinator because you get to the NFC championship game? I don't know.
If they score 40 points a game, then maybe. But they could have also scored 13 points a
Yeah.
game to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was
That's how
bad.
they won the division. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
success with Patullo. Most teams aren't firing their offensive coordinator after they win the division.
Yeah. Well,
It's tough. It ended exactly how you thought it would be. The big moments of this loss were all the big moments and the themes of the season. I think, I mean, everything comes down to the offense coordinator. You
yeah.
feel good about defense. Offense, you really can't get a good beat on because your coordinator was so bad. There's gonna be some free agents you got to decide on. Be interesting to see what happens there. Who knows what happens, Elliott?
Mm.
I'm always like, I need Elliott off this team now, and then I look around the league and I'm like, wait, man, I don't know. I know Jake's got his warts, but some of these kickers out here are like,
Yeah, I mean, he did miss that extra point, which he's like actually like really bad at missing extra points in the playoffs apparently. But
he's. Did you know that he's like tied for the NFL record in the
yeah.
postseason for
Yeah.
most extra points? Like, where does that stat come from?
But
That's
on
insane.
the what doesn't make sense is that on the flip side, he's like 26 of 27 for playoff field goals.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's like but
he,
he's not been great in the regular season the last few years. I mean, he's been here since the 2017 Super Bowl.
I know.
So
I mean, that's the thing though. Like with him, I always said he's never cost us a game. He's won us a bunch of games, but he's never cost us a game.
what will happen is you bring in another, theoretically, you bring in another kicker, someone younger. He wins the job. Jake gets cut. Jake goes to another team, has a great year, and then this kicker you just got is shaky all season. That's probably what's going to happen.
A life of the kickers, like you got one of two ways. You draft someone really young who can probably kick the ball to next
Draft,
week.
undrafted.
Yeah, same thing. Who can kick the ball probably to next week, but just like the Ravens kicker, probably doesn't have the guts and misses a kick that takes you out of the division.
Well, where was Brandon Aubrey? I think was drafted like fourth round or something, wasn't he?
I mean, he's the best kicker in the game, but again, it's on a team that doesn't matter. Or
True.
you have, there's like 10 or 12 kickers that have been passed around by every single team in the league. And it's like he hasn't played in 3 seasons, but you know their name and they're playing for someone randomly. Like you just have these kickers on call speed call.
Yeah.
But God, I don't want one of them. They're just as bad. It's I don't know.
I think you absolutely need to bring in competition. Um, and then just take it from there. I mean, if they went into the season with Jake again, I wouldn't be mad. But I do think he needs to be tested. I think I don't think he has the mentality that his job is safe and that he's cushy and can do whatever he wants. I don't think he seems like a competitor because weirdly enough, he's like, I mean, not weirdly enough, but he's a pretty like well balanced athlete. Like he's apparently really good at like every sport, like golf and tennis and random shit. But um, I do think he needs competition to at least, you know, see what's good with him, why he's struggling. But
Kicker's just the story of like I'm ready for a new one, but I don't want what's out there. I don't want the other options.
fair. Now I will go through. I want to go through the free agents we have.
Okay.
So let's say um, we'll say sign, let go, or try to match. So we'll say like try to match is in like they're gonna let them test the market, but they'll try to bring them back at the right price, like a team friendly
Yeah.
price. Dallas Goddard.
I mean, this is the big one. This is honestly a 50-50 for me. I think it mostly comes down to Dallas. I think he's out his this year he's outpriced what the Eagles can afford. So if he wants to leave, I don't see a way where the Eagles can bring him back. He
I
did do the team-friendly restructure, so
Yep.
also gives you
Hmm.
hope, but I'm also kind of leading to he did it already and he had a career year.
Yeah.
Like I did the restructure for you. I can make more money now than I've ever been able to because I had my best season. I
Hmm.
kind of think he might be on the way out. I just unless I don't know. The Eagles, this is the Eagles' turn. You can't ask the guy to restructure one year and then expect him to do it again after a career. So I'm 50-50, but I would lean if I had to gun to head, say he's probably gone.
Yeah. I mean, if you had asked me, week one when the season started, I would have said 100% he's not coming back. But after how he played this year, staying fully healthy, I think he only missed what, maybe one or two games.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
this is probably his best season all year, all
yeah, and he
career.
had 11 touchdowns.
I
Uh,
think he's priced himself out, and I
I
just
I would love to bring him back. But kind of what you just said, like I think if I'm him, I look at, hey, every time one of our skill players or any of our players really goes out and has a career year, you either up their salary or you give them a good extension, right? So like Saquon had that crazy year, they gave him more money. Um, if I was him, I'd be like, hey, I did team friendly restructures with you, had my best season, I stayed healthy, and you're gonna lowball me now, like. So if I had to like put money on it, I would say he's leaving, but I would try to re-sign him if
I mean,
possible.
I wouldn't even say it's lowballing. Dallas knew this going into the year. That's why they had him restructured. And then he had a career year. Now you want to look at you want to stay, but this is probably my last big contract. The Eagles probably only offer me 1 year. Do I want to play do a 1 year risk having another big year that
I don't think they
I've
would
been
do a 1 year.
to? Uh, how much more are you going to tie? No, they're
Dude,
tied up on the
okay.
cap.
Um, okay.
Who else we got?
Let's see. Fred Johnson.
Didn't they trade him in the beginning of the season and then managed to get?
Yes, to Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah, I think it's not a priority to bring him back. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they let him walk.
Yeah, I think for depth purposes, if it's like a very friendly contract, I'd bring him back. But um, other than that, I mean, he played fine when
Yeah,
Lane's
he's fine. I
absence.
mean, he is what he is.
Yeah. Brett Toth, Brett Toth.
He's probably gone. Can't
Yeah,
imagine them keeping any of these backup linemen.
I didn't think he was very good, to be honest.
No, me neither.
Sam Howell.
Didn't know he was on the team.
There you go. Josh Uche, who really didn't play at all.
Yeah, he's
What does
gone.
that tell you? Yeah.
That's a Howie strikeout.
Yeah, he was great with the Patriots, and then ever since then it's been downhill. But was it the Patriots or was it the I forget where he
I think it was the Patriots. It was one of
yeah.
those random like Bill Belichick made him look great, and then he sucked elsewhere.
Yeah. Aziz Ojulari. He got hurt, I remember, after 3 games. But I
I don't think
mean,
he did anything to justify keeping. So
yeah. Um a lawn snapper I've never heard of. Uh this other guy also was on our Ogba Okoranaku. I don't know how to say his name.
I think it's fair to say if you don't know how to pronounce the name and I've never heard of them, we can probably skip them.
Okurnokowa. I know who he is. He looked kind of promising in preseason to be like, a rotation guy, but he got hurt early. AJ Dillon. See ya.
No. Yeah.
I feel bad for him. I think he came in with the thought that he was going to be behind Saquon, and then he got put behind Shipley, and then he got put behind Bigsby, and he's like, "What the fuck?" It was a cool idea to have two squat monsters in the backfield, but
Yeah, it was fun for a little bit.
here's a big one: the Kobe Dean.
I think he stays.
Really?
I think you've seen too much of how good he is, and I think he's a good leader on the team. I know he's got the health concerns, but I also think the health concerns will kind of keep his market down.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, when he plays, he's awesome. I mean, we saw it on the field. You saw it like Vic Fangio's defense was really starting to suffocate when he came back healthy.
Yes.
I think they'll be interested in him. You know, I would be surprised if he wants to stay to kind of get build up his stock a little bit.
I think he's tough. I think had he finished the whole year injury free and probably made, Pro Bowl and All Pro honors, he'd be, gone. But because he missed games and was in and out, I do think he gets a bit of a discount, but it's tough. They have so many. I mean, they drafted Campbell with the thought that he was going to take over at some point. Um, I
Yeah, but Kimball was kind of like he was more pass rushy. I don't know if he really was more comfortable in the Kobe Dean role. I think
Yeah,
what
it's
would be more
tough.
comfortable in, I don't know,
But
you see what Dean does, and I don't know if that fit Campbell as much. Because when Dean came back, the position was completely different than when Campbell was there.
I
Played
agree.
okay,
I mean, you're
but
talking about a rookie and a vet, but yeah.
yeah, it's true.
Uh,
Uh, but I don't know. I think the defense does much better with Dean and Baum paired together. But we'll see. I just think that Vic Fangio would value Dean more than any other team would.
another big one, Jalen Phillips.
I'm actually going to say that they keep him.
I think I agree. I think they figure out a way to keep him because I think he looked great when we first got him, and then he kind of got
I
quiet.
agree.
So I
Completely.
think that kind of
I
quieted some
think
of his value, but I think he's still going to
like
get
I'm
money.
I'm
But
looking at his numbers, and he started out pretty strong. But then he finished the year with two sacks with us,
28
three with me.
tackles and 2 sacks. Yeah.
He had 53 tackles, total 29 were stolen solo. Like, and that's in the season. And just he really fell off quite a bit. He was great when he came on. He helped the defense quite a lot. I think he was more impactful for like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Like they got much better once he was on the team. Um, but I mean, Ajomo came on strong. Like Ajomo, I think looked better than Phillips all year. Ajomo pretty much looked like our best outside rusher all year.
Hmm.
But I still think they bring him in. I think they keep him. I don't think Jalen Phillips would mind staying one more year, full season with Fangio, and then really cash in. So I think there's a lot of interest on both sides.
Yeah. I think I think between Phillips, Dean, and Goddard, I think Phillips stays. But we'll see. I think of those three, one of them does end up staying. Maybe two, but I'd be shocked if all three stayed. My least favorite player on this team, Grant Calcaterra. Get him the fuck out of here.
There's no way you can justify keeping him.
No, I had to hear how he was, oh, he's a good catching tight end. Too bad. He's not good enough to stay because he can't fucking
He's so
block.
bad at blocking.
He's
He's
so
so
bad.
bad.
So
So
bad.
bad.
Jahan Dotson. I think he had his time.
Yeah. Yeah. See you later.
Unless it depends. See, here's the thing though. It depends on the
No,
coordinators that come
it
in
is
too.
not the bad. He's very replaceable. I'm sure they will go look for someone else.
Oh yeah, no. But I'm saying like if the coordinator we have comes in and he uses like, slot guys a lot or something like that, he might if Jahan Dotson's going to be cheap, he might be like, "Oh, bring him back in or something." But
I'm
yeah,
sure that
you think he's
I'm sure
gone.
an OC that really like slot guys would go out and find his particular slot guy.
Yeah, I think the Eagles drafted a receiver early this year and Well, plus we'll see what happens with AJ. But um, Reed Blankenship.
Reed's a tough one.
At the start of his career, I was a Reed hater. I did not think he was that all that good. I thought he was very, very average. Then the Super Bowl year and the year before that, I thought he played much better. Um, but this year he was very up and down, I think.
He goes up and down.
Now he did have, different safeties next to him a couple times. He had Makubo and then, Epps and then Sidney Brown. So that does take some adjusting. And obviously when you have Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson playing outside, that doesn't help you. But
Very true.
I think he was a little up and down. I wouldn't be upset if they didn't bring him back, but I don't think he gets top. Like I don't think he's going to get paid that much. So I don't see why they couldn't bring him back. But
This is the tricky one. I mean, right now I have them bringing back Jalen Phillips and Kobe Dean, I think, right now, and that's it.
mm, yeah,
I think that, I mean, with the uncertainty of the Makuba, who played pretty well when he was
I mean,
healthy.
I loved what I saw. He was a
Yeah.
rookie. He's going to have some downfall games until he gets acquainted with the NFL.
I'm not sold long term on Marcus Epps, and I think Sidney Brown stinks.
Oh, Marcus,
So,
yeah. I had a high hopes for Sidney Brown, but after this year, I'm like done
I
on
mean, really,
him.
what are you going to do? Go into next season with a question mark at cornerback two, a question mark at safety to replace Rita, and maybe a question mark at safety where Makuba will start because he's still, coming off his rookie season and a big injury.
Yeah.
I'd like a little more confirmation there. Like at least if you bring back Reed, you know who Reed is. Reed can play. Um, I think Reed is also a good guiding force to help Makuba. Like I think he played well next to him.
Yeah, I do
So
too.
I wouldn't mind bringing him back, and I think they do. I
I
think they
think
managed to bring these defensive guys back.
I think Reed would take a team friendly deal too. Not that he's gonna get, $50 million or whatever, but um I think they bring him back. Marcus Epps is also a free agent.
No, if I'm bringing back Reed, I'm not. See you later, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm not fooled by the solid play of his when he came over here for those last few games. I mean, he was on his team before and he was not great. So, um, yeah, he can go. Adoree Jackson, bye.
I don't see him staying. I think he's gonna get a contract somewhere else.
He
He
will.
finished.
He finished very well. He finally, I don't know if he just finally got his footing down and understood the defensive scheme or whatever, but
I
he,
actually wouldn't be shocked if he managed to get like a decent contract somewhere.
yeah, no, I wouldn't. It screams like Tennessee Titans are like, yo, come over here, teach our
It's wild to
young
think we've
corners.
screamed at him all year, and I think he's priced himself out of the Philadelphia.
It's crazy. Um, Punter, Braden Mann, give him the
I'm
Brinks
keeping him,
truck.
man.
Give
I'm
him the
keeping him, man. Man,
Brinks.
MVP of the Buffalo Bills
One of
game.
the best punters in the league.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he's good. They'll keep him, I would assume. Brandon Graham, I mean, if he doesn't retire, obviously he'll come back.
Back
But
to his couch.
yeah. Uh, who's left? Kyle Granson. I mean, he signed I think a 1 year deal and was kind of used
I
sparingly,
think
but
we've covered all the free agents needing to be covered.
yeah, the last one is Matt Pryor, offensive line, but he sucks.
Uh,
So yeah, you can leave. But that's it. Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, the big names, Reed, Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean, and Dallas Goedert. Um, I think of those four, I think two stay at least. I think they find a way to keep two of them. Probably, I would guess Reed and Phillips because I think Dean gets money, and I think Goddard gets more. I think Goddard gets more money than the Eagles are willing to offer, and he might, like we talked about, the fact that he restructured a couple times, had his best season. I think he's gonna want to get paid well for it. So
I think the Dallas walking gives you a little more short-term cash to bring back a couple of these defensive guys who I really don't think like Phillips, I don't think is going to have the insane market that maybe we really thought at first. And I think Dean again would make more sense with Vic. I think Dean and Phillips just make more sense on their side to stay in the system one more year and then try it next year.
yeah, I mean they also have to work on extending Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, and Jalen Hurts is going to be due for another extension soon, and we'll see after that. But
I thought they signed Jordan Davis already.
no, he's got 1 year left.
So we got Davis, what's his face? Nolan Smith will be coming up.
Nolan Smith,
Um,
like another 2 years for Nolan though.
yeah. I think they sign Jordan Davis. I think the rest of them are waiting.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. Um, non-Eagle news. We have divisional playoff round. The Bills advanced. They beat the Jags, and I mean honestly, all the games except for the last two were close. They were all
Every game
like
kind of incredible.
all the games were really entertaining except for the Patriots Chargers, which was a snooze fest, and then the Texans defense just pummeled old man Rodgers into the ground. And his
I did say that. I was concerned for someone that's
he
not a big
he
sport. I was
looked like old. I mean, I know he looked old all year, but he looked like he got sacked and fumbled the ball. He didn't even move. Like he didn't want to get up. He was like, I concede, white flag.
If
Like,
anyone, I mean, I said this last year when the Steelers signed him. If anyone is insane enough to bring him back, you'd be just foolish. He's now the last two jobs he went to, he's cost both his coaches a job both years.
well, yeah, but I mean, Mike Tomlin walked away on his own, but
I still don't think you're walking away in a good situation.
um. And then, so yeah, Texans beat the Steelers, Patriots beat the Chargers, Bills beat the Jags on the AFC side. So that gives us Bills at the Broncos, Texans at the Patriots. Um, since our brackets all got fucked because the Eagles lost, who do you like in those matchups?
I'm riding with the Texans. I've got them in the championship game. I was not impressed by what the Patriots did.
Yeah, I kind of think we're gonna see a Bills Texans championship game, and I never would have
That
thought the
is what I said.
Texans. I would have thought the Texans would have made it, but
I think Drake May, this will be the biggest test for him.
yeah,
Playing Texans defense is going to be, that'll be tough. Like, guys played incredible all season. It's his first playoff run. This is going to be a real game. I just think the Texans defense is smothering. Um, so I've got them, and then I like the Bills against Denver.
yeah, me
Denver's
too.
kind of my fraud team.
Bills are the team of destiny. If they don't win this year, they are not ever going to win. But Josh Allen.
Listen, they played like the team of destiny. The Jags are a good team. The Jags played them
Yeah, they
hard.
did.
They just came up. Josh Allen made some big plays. Eh, I think that this could be the year, as I said before. And then I like who was it? Chicago and the Niners.
We got yeah, Green Bay beat, or excuse me, Chicago beat Green Bay. That was a masterful choke job.
Yeah.
Um, obviously San Fran beat the Eagles, and then the Rams beat the Panthers. But I mean, the Panthers gave it their all. That was impressive. I did not think
I'm
they were. I told you they weren't going to get blown out, but I didn't
I
think
was
they would
bullish
play that
there.
close.
I thought the Rams, man, I'm really like,
They're weird.
what are the Rams? Like maybe they aren't this elite dominant team everyone keeps saying they
I
are.
don't think their defense is as I think people gas up their defense to be way better than it is.
Stafford also makes a lot of mistakes.
He's always been kind of mistake prone, but he'll always have that. He has a cannon, so he can always make up for it.
That's true.
Um, so we have also, did you know all the seeding on both sides is exactly the same? We have a 1 and a 2 seed and a 5 and a 6. So both 3, 4, and 7 seeds on each side lost. So it's kind of weird how that happened, but
Oregon.
San Fran at Seattle, and then Rams at the Bears. I, I think
I like
Seattle
Seattle.
crushes San Fran. And I mean, I hate to say, but I think the Rams Bears is a coin flip. I mean, the Bears are such a wild card. They'll look like shit, and then Caleb Williams turns into like prime Michael Jordan and just is throwing dimes and doing acrobatic plays, and so
He comes up clutch in the
he
fourth quarter of
does.
the game. He does well. Like the Bears defense also thrives when they can turn the ball over. They didn't do that this against the Packers, but
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford could be due for some careless interceptions. He
Yeah,
does
it's
them every once in a while. Do I want to pick the Bears? I picked against them last time. I've been all on the Rams. I have the Rams in the Super Bowl. Uh,
they're weird, man. They're weird.
Ultimately, I think the Rams offense is going to be too much for the Bears to keep up with. While I do think Stafford could throw careless interception. I still think there's too much firepower for a bad Bears defense to hold up against. So I was taking the Rams.
I mean, I I've been betting against the Bears all season, and I have not been winning those bets. So I, they just seem like a weird team of destiny as well. Not like a Super Bowl destiny, but I think they'll get to the championship game at this point. So fuck it. I'll say Seattle versus Bears in the NFC Championship game.
There we go.
And then from that point, I'm gonna say Bills Seahawks Super Bowl.
Don't get out of your
Go Bills.
As you learned from the first round, you clearly have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but that's the Super Bowl. And then, I mean, it's wild because as crazy as the NFL season was this year with all the crazy teams and you know games that were all every week we had a game of the week or game of the year. Um, just as crazy are all the coaching firings and openings. I mean, John Harbaugh got fired over a phone call after 18 years. Love that. And then Mike Tomlin stepped down from the Steelers job. So those are two. Who would have thought that the only coach with a job in the AFC North would be Zach Taylor and the Bengals?
A weird
They have
division, man.
three openings. That's crazy.
Weird division.
Uh, but yeah, I couldn't even tell you like give a guess of where each coach is going to go because it's just so much unknowns with everything. But it does sound like Harbaugh might go to the Giants, or if not, if the Packers fire Matt LaFleur, he would go there.
That's
But
a
it
good
sounds like they're
stretch.
not firing
I'm
LaFleur.
hearing a lot of Harbaugh in Atlanta.
Or Atlanta, I heard too as well, yeah. But I'd
Tomlin's not
rather
going to
let him go to
here.
Atlanta. Stay away from the Giants. I don't want them to be good.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see. We'll save it for the next one. Excitingly, this is the only episode I can think of where we get to finish with studs and duds and me
Ooh,
uninterruptedly get to speak and praise my mind and
oh,
let off some
beautiful, beautiful.
knowledge.
Take it home.
Cool. So, I guess you're feeling miserable. Are you feeling happy? Like, where's your level of emotions?
Well, miserable from the Eagles, of course, but happy that um, we fired Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator.
There you go.
So I guess let's start with the duds, and we'll go happy because the Eagles also, if anyone listening wasn't aware, Eagles are in on pace in rhythm. I don't know how to say to go back to the Super Bowl again, anyways, next year because we go wild card loss Super Bowl, wild card loss Super Bowl, wild card loss. What comes next? Super
New offensive
Bowl.
coordinator.
No offense coordinator, new Super Bowl appearance. So. But let's start with the duds and then we roll into a positive vibe for the Eagles off season and hopefully a better draft because I was looking at our draft from last year and actually really didn't pan out very well. But besides our
Hmm.
first couple picks.
All right. So before I start, I want to hit up with an honorable mention because I know you hate kickers, but I've
Oh,
got a stud dud kicker tandem from the same game.
interesting.
I, I mean, it's the playoffs, so I feel like you'd be pretty disappointed in me if I used one of my dud spots for a kicker.
Mm,
But I mean, talk about Jake Elliott. I mean, McManus missed two field goals, all of his field goals, and an extra point.
hmm
And I'll throw a stud nomination to Cairo Santos
mm,
because the guy hit all of his field goals. And like there was moments where I'm like, why are you kicking field goals? Like you're down by three touchdowns. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
Are you kidding me? And then those 9 points really made a difference.
Yep.
To have those 9 points, not that they were keeping it close, but when they really started turning on, they had points to start with, was huge. And he saved a touchdown on that kickoff return. I mean, there was no one in front of, after him. So
Yeah.
credit to Kyler Santos, low-key MVP of the Bears game.
Who would have thought Bears with a kicker MVP? Couldn't
Yeah.
imagine.
So done. Staying with that game. I mean, you need your big players to step up in the big moments, and I don't even know if Josh Jacobs got on the bus. He had 19 carries and only had 55 yards.
I really don't remember seeing him on the field to be honest. No, I do because he was returning kickoffs, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he
And
almost
I was like,
fumbled
why is he
it.
on kickoff returns?
Yeah. I mean, that is the sad part. That tells you everything. The biggest highlight he had was nearly fumbling away a kickoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, as sub 3 yard per carry in a game where you
Eek.
were winning most
hmm
of it. That's when you run the ball.
21-3 at halftime and they lost.
Man,
in the
did you not have any ground
playoffs.
game? I mean, you had pretty much 20, carries. It's not like they completely ignored him, but
I don't know,
that's
man.
just ineffective, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So yeah, Josh Jacobs is kicking off our dud list here. And then we're going to go to a familiar face,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to playoff duds. And it's a shame because every year it seems like we have the same conversation, and then amnesia kicks in, and everyone forgets, and then everyone is, sucking them off going through the season. And you'll hear some excuses, but dude, this is putrid. This might arguably be one of the worst teams he's ever had. I mean, you went in and you scored 3 points. You were 19 of 31.
Hmm.
You had 159 yards. You
Hmm.
did lead your team in rushing yards. I definitely don't think that's an accomplishment. Didn't turn the ball over, but I
Um,
mean, this year it'll be the excuse will be he just got crushed because his tackles are out, but he did get sacked 6 times. But Justin Herbert, man, the haters are not going anywhere. This was
listen,
another
man.
all in your face game in the
I
playoffs.
listen because Jalen Hurts would get shit on if he was doing what even with injuries, if he was putting up Justin Herbert performances, and we wouldn't be here at the end of it. But Justin Herbert, three playoff appearances, three losses. One was he threw four interceptions, I think, against the Texans. The other one, he blew like a 28-point lead to the Jaguars.
Mhm.
And then this one
Scored three
puts
points.
up 3 points.
Yeah.
But that's your top five quarterback, better than Jalen Hurts, apparently.
I don't get it. He literally he's the Teflon Don. Nothing sticks on him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between being like quarterback with a lot of skill and a quarterback who's a winner. Like they don't always go hand in hand. So
Yeah,
Ryan
it's
Fitzpatrick was a great quarterback with because of skill, but he wasn't really much of a winning quarterback.
yeah,
So,
we'll see. But yeah, moving on into our number one dud. I think we all know. I think we've
mm,
known since when did we give up on the Eagles offense?
like week five,
5?
5 or 6.
I was later. I mean, it was like week 8 or 10 where I finally was like, no, this is a
I
bad
mean,
offense.
Saquon didn't have a 100-yard game, I think, until like midway through the season.
Yeah, so Kevin Patullo, we've been
Yeah.
waiting. It's finally come. Lost his job,
Yep.
never really had his job. And in the most pathetic play call to end the game, the again, the Eagles lose. I've seen more hate and more blaming and more ridicule on Kevin Patullo than I have on our superstar wide receiver who bitched all year and dropped three crucial balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like a guy that desperately probably wants a nuisance situation.
Yeah. To the Patriots he goes.
Yeah. Back to the studs. Well, now on to the studs.
Well, I will
I'm
say real
actually
quick, I'm a little upset you didn't go, hey Dakota, what's the best way to get on the dud list? Lose your job.
well,
But
because now it's become like a fetish of yours. Like I personally have come to my senses, and I don't like to dance on people's graves when they lose their jobs and their livelihoods,
fair
like
enough. Fair
to
enough.
provide for their family. And I know you just get off on it and you love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You love Kim Batul on food stamps. Perfect. That's what I'm here
That's
for.
not yeah.
Poor
Who
guy's
are
got to
who are
pack
who are the
kids and move
studs?
somewhere new. Might have to sell their house. Just you get it. You love it. So yeah, I didn't want to feed into your addiction.
Fair enough.
Moving on to the stud list. Let me tell you, I'm going to start with two studs. And you know what they have in common? Both are wide receivers.
Okay.
Both I had no idea they were playing for that team going into this playoff game. And I think, I mean, the biggest moments like of their careers, maybe not career, but playoffs. Let's kick it off with one guy that we know very well because, man,
Mm.
the Eagles love to start off hot. Seeing Demarcus Robinson come literally from nowhere and get a 61-yard, like just dance around the entire Eagles defense to start that game was just
I
comical.
I didn't even know he was still in the league. I
Me,
don't
that's what I mean.
I don't know what they gave him pregame, but that man, he torched Quinyon Mitchell and then he torched Cooper DeJean, two all-pro
Yeah.
corners. So, I mean, Quinyon made, I wouldn't say made up for it because that he basically gave up a touchdown on the opening drive. But he did have two picks and basically was locked down on whoever was he was covering the rest of the game. But that first drive was brutal.
Man, 111 and a tutty,
Yeah.
and pretty much the tone setter of the game with that
Mhm.
61 catch and run.
That was rough. That was rough for sure.
And then our second stud here. I actually did not know, not as obscure as Demarcus Robinson. I had no idea that Kristen Kirk was on the Jaguars. I thought he was gone. I
Yeah,
thought he had moved on.
Christian Kirk, not Charlie Kirk like Stephen A. Smith said.
Yeah, listen, I'm a professional.
Stephen A.
Don't
Smith's not a professional.
don't assume that I would have made a mistake. I
Oh,
don't.
you never know.
Yeah, get it together.
Right.
Um, but yeah, Christian Kirk came out
Yeah.
of nowhere, balled out, had a nice game, was over 100 yards. He was pretty much everything you were hoping for. Um, 144 actually. Was looking for my stats. I think I even said I didn't know he was in the Jags. He wasn't even on the Jags. He was actually on.
He was on he was a Cardinal, then I think he went to Miami, then he was with
I think
the
he did go to the
Jet.
Jags.
Then
Remember
he was on
he
the
spent all that
Jags,
money?
yeah.
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 But no, yeah, 144 and a tutty
Yeah.
and a third point effort. Not bad for Christian Kirk. Didn't know he was on the team, but there you go.
He always had
And
some talent. He was just very inconsistent.
number one stud. I'm going with the guy, the man of destiny. This is his year. And they could have been a really fall on his face. I honestly think there would have been talks about Doug getting fired, or not Doug, Sean McDermott getting fired. But instead, Josh Allen in a year without Lamar or Mahomes or Burrow went 28-35 with 273, very accurate, and then gave you a touchdown there and two more on the ground. I mean, the guy just made big plays. He was
Yeah.
big play, after big play. The one pass he made was just insane. I was jaw dropped on the floor.
Yeah, I will say the only issue with the Bills is that they to the path that they have to go through, I mean, no matter who the three remaining AFC teams besides Buffalo, Broncos, top five defense, Patriots, top five defense, Texans, top five defense. So Josh needs to play like MVP Josh in order for them to win games, which he's very capable of doing. But it's we'll see. I mean, like you said, this is their year to do it, but they do have to go through a gauntlet of defenses to get to the bowl. But
I mean, if I give you the alternative of Patrick Mahomes with a mediocre defense, Lamar Jackson with a mediocre defense, he's taking it
yeah,
every time.
yeah. So
But yeah, that's our stud. Number one, Josh Allen. See how it goes.
we shall see. Yeah, I guess, by default, or well, Sean McDermott, former Eagle coach, root for him, I guess, because nobody else is really. I don't want to root for an NFC team at this point. So, but
Well, way to end on a positive note.
yeah, yeah. Go. What did the Bills say? Go Bills, go. Oh, I don't know.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Okay. Well, till next time.
Peace.
Peace.